what's up everyone? Welcome back. Hope you had a good weekend. As you may have seen, Rebel Moon has a cover on Empire magazine and an exclusive article inside with a bunch of cool pictures and some more details and insight into the whole Rebel Moon universe as it will be. So I'm not going to read the whole article, of course, but I do want to share some of the cool pictures that have come from the article and read some of the highlights. So let's get into it. The article says, Zack Snyder has expansive movie and TV plans for Rebel Moon with a 450-page Bible of universe lore and a timeline that expands well beyond the initial two-part adventure. Quote, we can't really hit the bottom, he tells Empire. Also some pictures of Zack on set as well. Just based on that kind of like little part of the article and what Zack had to say, it's becoming more and more clear that Netflix wants to take this just beyond a two-part movie. And it said even TV, so there's potential for, different series to come out of this universe. Let's see what else the article had to say. Zack also said, when I pitched it to Netflix, the scale was a thing they wanted, which is awesome to hear. They were like, well, how big could it be? How many movies? That made me go, okay, if we really do this, we can sink our teeth pretty deep into this. So that's when he said we really can't hit the bottom. So like you could just keep going and going and going and expanding more and more from the lore that he has created in this whole world that he has been conceptualizing for years. Really awesome to me to hear that they were like so open to hearing like how big could you make this, instead of like taking it one movie at a time and then reacting to every little complaint and then we'll change this, change that. So refreshing to hear that compared to what was happening with him and DC at Warner Brothers. Like it's just polar opposites pretty much. They want him to make this as big as possible. How many movies? Like, can we do series? Like, that's awesome to hear. Interesting thing about the Rebel Moon from the title, we won't actually see that moon or particular in the movie. Well, in the first one, it says in a proposed third film, audiences will finally get to see the Rebel Moon or visit the Rebel Moon. Snyder says the Rebel Moon is not the moon that they're on. The title was conceptual, but there's a planet named Vanna, and Vanna is the Rebel Moon. It's not even in one shot of this movie. And I'm assuming he's referring to parts 1 and 2 because it says that if it, in a proposed third film, so if, it becomes a trilogy or beyond that, that's when you would actually see the moon in Rebel Moon. In the 450-page Rebel Moon Bible, as they're calling it in the article, it details all kinds of lore and backstories pertaining to the evil Imperium, which is, kind of like the oppressive government in this universe. They're called the Imperium. He has an expansive timeline that extends long before and after the two current films. That's where you could really expand this universe into, prequels, and then this takes place after this, and this is what's happening with this, section of the universe and these characters. Because in the Vanity Fair article that came out recently around the time of To Doom, the Netflix event, that article mentioned too that it kind of broke down all of like the main characters that we're going to see in the movies, that team up together. And it broke down all of their, it kind of gave us a little bit of information into their backgrounds, and they all are very different. They're all very unique. And so that also could be potential for like all of these different sectors of the universe to be expanded upon and going into those things deeper, because there's just a whole lot of lore that Zack has created over the years. And like he said, you really could just keep creating different movies or series from it. Lots of cool images as well. Cool image of Ray Fisher's character Blood Axe, and there's also a quote from him where he was kind of explaining some of the inspiration that he's using for his character from Seven Samurai. He said, I pulled from the Seven Samurai of it all, which we know is like a big inspiration for Zack and a movie that he is very inspired by. He said, this is Ray Fisher, certain postures I take with my weapon, some of them I modeled after Toshido Mifune, who carries, I don't know if I said that right, who carries the katana in a very specific way over his shoulder. Sometimes what I would do before a take would start is whisper to myself, Mifune. So that's cool that he shared that. And there's a cool picture of him in the article as well. He also said that the weapon that he uses, or one of them at least, was pretty massive. It's like 4 feet. He said it's pretty massive. It's 4 feet, almost as big as me, which you can tell in the picture. It's a pretty big weapon, a gigantic weapon that his character is using here. But he also has other weapons too that we've seen, like a long like spear type of weapon that we saw from the Vanity Fair article as well. Some more pictures of Jimmy, which is the character that's voiced by Anthony Hopkins. He is a JC-1435. That's his race of, like, he's a robot, right? He's a sentient mechanized robot who once protected a defeated king in Rebel Moon. And I think in the Vanity Fair article, it kind of also brought out that he's like maybe one of the last of his kind, and he's kind of trying to survive. He's a little bit different from maybe the other ones of his kind. He kind of connects more with nature. Another quote mentions, there's so much to it and so much thought in the production design and the languages, the characters. Rebel Moon looks to have a similarly expansive plan to his DC Snyderverse. This story already split across 2 movies with plans for more to come. So I think this is going to be so much more than we the fans have even expected. Deborah Snyder said something that I really appreciated. She said, I feel like Rebel Moon is an accumulation of everything he's done this far. And I thought that was a cool way to kind of express how much they have put into Rebel Moon and creating this whole world. There's a pretty cool image with a ship and some explosions going off in the background. We see more of Cora and Charlie Hunnam's character. More about Anthony Hopkins' character, Jimmy. Zack Snyder says he's on a journey of self-discovery. He's a character set to undergo a major transformation across the multi-part story. And I think he's probably, for me, I feel like he might be a standout. People are really going to, I think, take to him and really like his character. We see a picture of Nemesis using her swords that she has, which are kind of part of her have become part of her anatomy in ways. So I think she's going to be a pretty badass character. Seeing these images makes me really want the trailer. I hope we get one very soon. Netflix doesn't really drop trailers like far ahead, months and months ahead of movies coming out. It's kind of like 2 months ahead they might drop a trailer or start dropping trailers. We saw a quick little few seconds in that promo that they had a few months ago. Well, we got the featurette during To Doom, which was really cool, the behind the scenes featurette. But as far as like a teaser or a trailer, they don't really do that like, you know, studios do with cinematic releases. They have them like months and months ahead. They are marketing it though, you know, and I think it's cool that they're doing it this, you know, part 1 doesn't come out until December. So it's cool that they are doing all of this marketing several months ahead of time to let people know, like, this is not just going to be a Netflix movie. You know what I mean? This is going to be a whole just library of universe, if that makes sense, on Netflix. And I think they really want people to know that it is an original, what I would say, IP. And it's going to expand a lot more beyond this, you know, a 2-part movie. And so I think that's kind of why they would do something like the featurette at To Doom and have these kind of things in magazines and, you know, online and stuff like that, because it's not just a movie that they're making and releasing and then that's it. Like, a lot of their movies do get sequels, but they're taking this to another level with Rebel Moon, and I think that's awesome. So I'm glad that they're kind of giving people time to kind of learn about what this is, and that it is a whole new universe that they are kind of diving into. It gives people lots to look forward to, and I think it's going to be very rich and deep and epic, and I'm here for it. So congrats to them. I'm really happy that they get to really dive into this world that they have been creating over so many years, and now they get to take it even farther than they probably even expected to. I can't wait for a trailer. Zack puts I mean, his movies always have the best trailers, so I'm really looking forward to that, hopefully sometime in the near future. But until then, we can, kind of enjoy these articles and pictures that we're getting for right now. So I wanted to share that. Thank you for the support on the channel. Check out, links in the description. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.